that party, get them their pucker powder. The kids are playing. It's the imaginary kids, they're in the theater. And it's now time for you to do the pucker powder. I recommend doing it 1 hour into the event. Okay, so your party's 2 hours. The first hour goes by, the kids are settled, they're ready to go. If you're working a party by yourself, or even if you're working with someone else, you could say, "Hi everyone, there's no switching of the games at this time because we're going to be doing pucker powder." You make the announcement. This way the kids know they're not going to switch or ask for any games, just for the little 10-15 minute time you need to do pucker powder. So all the kids are settled, they're ready to go, they know the pucker powder is coming. These are the tubes. You order them from us through the supply module, and they come in packs of 15. And then you want to take them open. Remember, the sugar is included, so when you order this, you get 1 sugar. You can always order more, but we usually say that 1 package of this equals 1 sugar. If you were to fill all these tubes up, you would only need 1 sugar. Each one is individually wrapped. You don't give the kid the wrapping. You want to unwrap each one of these and have them ready to go. Now, some people say, "Michael, should I ask the kids what color they want?" You could, but I think you're opening yourself up sometimes to more than you're asking for, more than you're bargaining for. I think it's nicer sometimes to just pull from the pile and say you get what you get. Now, there's 2 different ways to do the pucker powder. I'll explain it in a minute. If you're going to, you could actually fill them up all yourself and then give them to the kids at the end of the party. But I think it's more fun if the kids get a say or get some involvement, some interactivity in doing it themselves. So here's what you do. The kids are all playing. Let's pretend now we have our imaginary kids here playing their Xbox in the first section. They're playing, they're having a good time with their friends, and it's their time to do the pucker powder. You, as the host, need to make sure that they stop and they come over. You don't want the whole trailer to come to you at one time. It's happened to me. It's a big mistake because now you got a line, you got a crazy amount of kids trying to get all packed in this small little area. So you do group by group by group, and this way you're not interrupting the games. Alright, so it's time for this group to play. They're playing their game. You ask them to pause it, and then you're going to change what happens on the screen. And you're going to send the computer feed to this screen. Now, right now, the computer feed still says, "Wishes Andrew a happy birthday." It's going through the slideshow. You're going to escape in the computer, and you're going to go down here and choose the pucker powder slide, which is right here, pucker powder. You hit it, and you just do that slide, and then it stays on the pucker powder slide. Now the kids will know when you come over here and change it from whatever game they're playing to the actual computer feed, you say, "Hey, pause your game." Always let them pause it because they may be involved in a big game right now, and if you don't pause it, it could end the game. So they pause the game, you switch it to this, and you say, "Hey guys, it's now time for you to do your pucker powder." So then you bring the 4 kids up here, and they form a line, and they each get 1 of these sticks. Now, they are never allowed to take the stick back to their seat because you're asking for more cleanup trouble. They'll get the pucker powder all over, even if it's not on purpose. The kids don't want to make a mess on purpose, but it's going to happen. So, you're all set up, you're ready to go, you got your pucker powder. You need to get your trusty handy markers. Now remember, we filled each of your units up with the best. So you have your black marker, you get it out, and you're using the marker to label each one of these so that the kids know who's whose. Now, I've had a lot of franchisees tell me that they try to do different things. So here are some best practices. You can just label the initials of each child. I've had some people group them and say, "Okay, this is the green groups," and they put it over here. But the problem with that is that in the last hour, the kid in the green group could go sit somewhere else, and then it messes up. So just write the initials of the child. If this person is Marcy Pandaco, then you want to write MP for Marcy Pandaco. So I write MP on this, and Marcy now holds hers. Now, if the kids are maybe 10 and older, maybe even 9 or 8 and older, I'll let them do this themselves. If they're younger, or they can't reach the machine, maybe I will do it for them. Depending on how much time you have and what's going on at the party. It's obviously going to be very fast if you do it. I usually start over here and I say, "Hey, wild cherry," and they'll say yes or no, and I put what I think is good in it and fill it up to the top and cap it, and I say, "Great, you'll get yours at the end of the party." And then I put it here, and the next child goes. And if you have the kids filling it themselves, then you can move on to the next guest and write their name down. Once these 4 are done, they filled up their tubes, you've collected their tubes, and they're now ready to be handed out at the end of the party. The kids come back to their seats, they sit down, and they now need to go back to their game. Don't forget, change them back to their Xbox or whatever they were playing. The computer will go, the system will go back to the Xbox, and then you move over to the next group. You ask them to pause the game, you switch it, it comes up with your pucker powder, and you take your next group over to the pucker powder machine. Remember that each guest gets a 1-foot tube. The guest of honor gets that 3-foot longer tube and gets to fill it up. Now, if a child eats the pucker powder and they want another one, they want to get a refill, and they use the same stick and put it in the machine, it's not going to be cross-contaminated, which means if I take this stick and put my mouth all over it and then put it back underneath the machine to be filled up, because of how it's being put into the machine, their mouth area doesn't touch the top there, so it's not going to cross-contaminate. And all you're doing is using this middle piece of the pucker powder tube, putting it in the coin slot, and pressing hard. And the kids don't understand how hard you may need to press. And then it drops the sugar in. And then when they're done, they cap it. I wouldn't go past this area, because then if you go up to the top here, you won't have enough leeway to cap the tube. And then you'll have to dump some out. Now, allergies. It's clear peanuts and all of that. All the information is located here on the side. So if there are any kids that say, oh, I have an allergy, if it's anything peanut related, it's not a problem. However, you should check here what it is. Also, kosher. Not all the flavors are kosher, and you want to check our FAQ database for all of the kosher flavors. This way, if you have guests that are kosher, you can ensure that only those flavors are offered at that event. And then finally, the cleaning of your pucker powder. Each pucker powder comes with this piece here, which is the grill. The grill comes out, and then you have your collection base. You also have a little stopper, which stops the pucker powder from coming in. I don't have a stopper. I think I lost my stopper on my unit. So instead of that, I put a piece of tape over it or paper towel, and you're fine. I think sometimes it's easier than just having this down like this to actually layer it with paper towel. Now, you would want to make it a little bit smaller and put it in. And this way, instead of cleaning the machine, the sugar is falling into the paper towel. So when you cap it back on, it comes through, it goes onto the paper towel, and then it's easy to take the paper towel and put it in the garbage. Now, anytime you're changing or you're cleaning this up, you take the garbage can and put it underneath, and that will ensure that not a lot gets all over. And then when you take the stopper out, the stopper has a hole. So all you have to do is put the garbage can underneath and push all the sugar down into the hole to clean it up to make sure it's all cleaned. And then finally, at the end of every party, you want to take a little Fantastic, whatever your cleaning supplies is, use a paper towel, do a spray, and clean off each one of the units, because they do get residue of sugar, and it looks horrible, you know, when the residue is on the machine. And then you want to clean your actual machine on the bottom here, reline it with your paper towel so that you're ready for the next event. And you can do this at the end of the day and clean these at the end of every party if that's easier for you. Reline it to make sure that it's all ready to go. If you have that stopper, make sure you put the stopper back so you don't lose it like I did. And then, finally, your grill back. And you're ready to go. The pucker powder, we sell $3 for each guest. You're buying them and you're making a great profit. You need to make sure that you're using this as an upsell tool. It's the first thing your guests see when they board, And often guests or clients that do not get the pucker powder when they book, get it as soon as they see it. And it's something that you can have your staff push for an upgrade at the event. And they can clearly see with the nutrition facts that there is not a lot of sugar. And actually, that there's more sugar in a Gatorade than there is in this stick, because it's not all completely sugar. So that's the pucker powder tutorial. That's exactly how you manage the pucker powder for getting the kids to go from playing to making their pucker powder to taking it at the end. The last thing is the actual handing it out. At the end of the party, after you do the slideshow and the kids watch it and they're ready to get off, instead of having a rush of kids get off that are all going to grab this stick, you want to call them by name. Who do you call first? You call the birthday person, the guest of honor, the boy or girl whose birthday it is. Let them come up first. Give them whatever their prizes are, especially their 3-foot tube, that big tube. Everyone makes a round of applause for the guest of honor. They're always the first person to get off the theater. Then you can call the names of the people that are left. And I would say, MP, MP. And that would be Marcy Pindaco, and she would come up. The other thing you can do for little kids that may not know their initials, instead of doing their initials, you can just do their name. Maybe that will be easier. Or you can do their favorite animal, or you can give them a number. But that may be hard for them to remember also, so keep that in mind. But that's a couple of other suggestions on creative ways on how to give out the pucker powder. It's a great, great, great enhancement to an event. That's how you do it. So enjoy your sweet treat.